Hi creative friends, welcome to this week's lesson of drawing a baby giraffe. So this one might be a little bit harder for new beginners in drawing, but just follow the guide and you can stop through the video as you need to. Now I just make upside down arch shape, you can see, and I make a U. So the upside down shape is for the top of the head. The U is for where you're going to see the face begin. And I'm just going to put a nose in here, and it looks just almost like an oval, only I leave the bottom open with two little nostrils on each side. And I'll refine this. You'll see me refine this as I put the pen on it, and I give it more of a nose shape for this little baby giraffe. Now I'm going to start with the eyes on the side of the head, and giraffes, their eyes aren't facing forward, they're on the side of their head. So it's great to have a reference photo if you have one. If you don't, then you can Google to see what the baby giraffe looks like. But I'm just going to start with kind of a sideways V shape for the eyes, because the eyeball is not going to go too far beyond the side of the head. As you can see, I place the eyeball in here, just a round little area. And then I curve the cheeks in towards the nose. I'm going to put a little eyelashes on, of course. Give it a little flare right now, but you'll see that when I ink it in, making them a little more even. And it's not really an eyebrow, but just they look like, I don't know, look like eyebrows. So I go down to the muzzle, and you'll see I go on each side of the nose, and I make this, it's a U shape, but it's kind of pointed towards the center of it. And you can see the muzzle begin to appear. And this is like the top lip area on this baby giraffe. And what you're going to see is I'm just going to refine the shapes as I go along while I have my pencil, and just fix the side and the muzzle area again and make them extend a little bit so it looks a little bit more natural. And then we're going to start with the little baby antlers on the top of the head and the ears to the side of the head, in between the antlers and the eyeballs. So they're not pointed, they're kind of rounded on the end of the ears, and they curve around. So you'll see better when I put the ink on as to where I stop and where I begin. So that is the shape of the ears, as you can see. And what you see floating in here on the side are the baby animals that I have drawn in the watercolor series. So you can check out the link below for that playlist. And I'm just refining the eye here and the muzzle, and of course erasing the parts that need to be erased. Don't be afraid to use your eraser. Now is the time when you want to use it before you put the ink on, and you know exactly where your lines are. So guys, if you're liking this so far, please give it a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe if you like this channel. So we're going to go down with the neck. And of course, giraffes have long necks. And this little baby giraffe is going to be laying down. So I start with the back of the giraffe up towards the top, and I curve it around as he's laying down, and that's his hind end. I'm not going to lie, this pose was difficult to do, especially with the baby giraffe. I'm going to make like an upside down heart shape for the chest area on this giraffe. And as you know, I break things down into shapes, so this was the easiest way for me to create the breast area of the giraffe as it's laying down. So I begin with the back hind leg. You can see I'm putting in that top area like the thigh, and with the giraffes, their legs are a lot different. They're kind of like a horse. So you go back with the hock area. That would be on a horse. Sorry, I have horses. And down with the front of the area where the front foot and the hoof are. Kind of like down through the pasture and in through the hoof area. And this was, I'm not going to lie, this was a little bit difficult. I know I already said that, but I will refine these as I go through. You'll see me refine with a pencil sketch. And when it comes to the pen is when it's the permanent. So don't worry about it if you don't have it right now. You can get it right before we put the pen on the drawing. I just don't want you to get upset if it's not exactly how you want it. Okay, and so now I'm coming down for the front leg, and this leg is going to go back, and I'm going to come up with the knee area. So from the breast down to the knee, I have to say was the most difficult part to do. So you're looking at the inside of the leg here, and I'm coming down with the knee area, and it's going to swing down to the back. So now you can see what that front leg looks like. Okay, make a little Y at the end. It'll be easier. You can see where the crease is. And I'll do the same thing for the other side. Just come down and make a knee, kind of like a knobby knee. And you're going to see the line in between where the bend is. Hopefully this makes sense to you. Okay. And on a baby giraffe, the chest portion is the largest area. They look a little awkward because they're such large head and long neck. But you'll get the gist of it. And I'm just going to refine my lines as I'm going through here. Make a little bit of creases as to where I think that they would be in laying down. If you have a reference photo, that's great. Go by that reference photo and you'll be able to know where to put these creases on your drawing. And I'm going to start putting the highlighted areas again into the eye, just mirroring the sides. So I put 3 little white dots in there, and you'll see that when I ink it in. That'll be easier for you to see. If you do this drawing, I would love to see what you come up with. And don't worry, guys, there is no right, there is no wrong. This is practice, and it's, it helps you refine your skills, okay? And have fun with it. That's the most important thing. Now you can see I'm just fussing a little bit too much with this front leg that's tucked under because I don't like the angle of it, but I'm going to let it go, and when I ink it, I will correct whatever I don't like when I put the ink on. So I'm just going to put in a few more lines in the face. So I can give myself reference point as to colors. And I'm going to come down for the bridge of the nose from the top of the eye. So if you had an eyebrow, you want to curve it around to like the bridge of the nose like you would do on a human drawing. Same thing for an animal drawing, and you can see that last week's little tiger that I did has that. And now we're just going to go put the spots on the giraffe, and I'm just going to put them all over. So as I do that, I'm just going to fast forward through this. On second thought, I'm not going to fast forward through it. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do here. These are random marks, and as with a tiger or any animal like a zebra, each pattern is unique to the animal itself. So they don't have to be perfectly uniform and the same. But you're going to see how I space these out. Like they're bigger on the chest area than they would be on the leg. They're bigger on the back area and the neck than they would be on the leg. And as we come down, we will make them a little bit smaller in scale. And I won't be inking those in. I will be using my watercolor pencils for those, so you'll see that happen. But you can do whatever you want. If you want to ink it in, by all means ink it in. If this is just going to be a black and white drawing, or if you want to ink the whole thing in like I would with a doodle, then you can do that and color it in. It's totally your preference on how you want to how you want to create this. So as you can see, I get down on the knee area and I'm going a little bit smaller on the pattern of the giraffe. And on the lower leg areas, they do not have any spots when they're little like this. At least in all the reference photos that I saw, I did not see any spots on the lower legs. So I could be wrong, but I'm just going by what I see. And that's the great thing about drawing, is it's your interpretation and your vision of what you see. And that is why I say there is no right and there is no wrong, because you're giving your opinion on what you see. So guys, that's the Art of Intuitive Doodling class that I do have. You can find that in the description below if it's something you're interested in reading about, and by all means check that below. And we're just going to continue on with our pattern. So these spots are a little numerous, you will see, and that's okay. You can you put as many as you want and as little as you want. It's totally up to you. And you'll see I do change things up as I put color on, because sometimes I think it's a little bit too much. But and I fix things as I go. So you can check out my website at elizabethsampson.com or thedoodlenurse.com for more information. If you want to sign up for when this coloring book will be out with all the baby animals, then by all means click the link in the description box below to sign up to be notified. And then we're going to start with our ink, and we're going to do a fine line water resistant marker as always, and I will speed this up. Slow it down if you need to, but you will see how all the pieces have come together, and you will see how I do not go over some of the lines. Okay, and of course I give it a little tuft of hair. That's kind of like a signature for some of these little drawings that I do, but I love it that way. And you're going to just see where I put the ink on. And now we're off to the watercolor pencils. And I start with a brown. The nice thing about these watercolor pencils is you can pencil them in like a colored pencil and then just add a little bit of water and drag that around, or you can color things in. And if you can see here, I forgot to erase my pencil lines, and as I start coloring these things in, you're going to have to erase your pencil lines. So please do that before you start coloring in with your watercolor pencils, because you just have to go back and repeat. So make sure that you use your eraser, okay? Don't do what I did. That's a great way to show you how to do that. So yeah, I just color all them in before I add water to them. And I'm just adding water with my water brush. If you don't have one of these water brushes, by all means use whatever paintbrush you have, add water to it, and you can see how it just smudges in the color. And I'm leaving a space between. I wish I had like an ivory color pencil. I don't. So I'm going to drag some color through there. Put a little bit of gray on the head, a little nose, a little bit of black. And you're going to see how this comes to life. Now, if you don't have watercolor pencils, by all means use regular colored pencils. You can use markers, crayons, whatever you have to bring color to your piece and make it shine. I'm going to put little shadows in the ears, as you see on the hoofs. And do your own style. You don't have to do what I do. Just make sure you do your own style. And I put hay where it's laying on the background. So I hope you like this. And by all means, if you like this, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, comment, share with your friends, and I look forward to seeing you again. So guys, make sure to check out these 2 videos for more tutorials, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for stopping by.